Thank you so much for tuning in to Locked on Auburn and Locked on SEC. Zach Blackerby, Chris Gordy here with you. Jackson Arnold impressed me. My biggest concern going into the season was his consistency with decision-making. It was not the physical tools. I think we saw everything that you wanted to see mentally from him, from a decision-making standpoint, and from a leadership and confidence standpoint. Chris Gordy, your overall thoughts on Jackson Arnold now 1 week into the season?
Yeah, I think, look, I've always been high on Arnold. I liked him a lot, coming out of or going into last year as the guy at Oklahoma, and talked to him multiple times leading in the last season. And it's not an excuse anymore. The offensive line injuries and the wide receiver injuries hurt them at Oklahoma last year. It just did. Right. But I think there's still some skeptical who saw, throwing for 54 yards against Tennessee before being benched, throwing 74 yards against Mizzou, 68 yards against Alabama, that people go, okay, but I just saw that week one again, for Auburn. He can run it, but can he throw it? And so until he does that, you're going to have skeptics saying, okay, be a quarterback. Don't be, a run first panic guy when the first read's not there. But again, if you watch the game on Friday night, if you watch the film, I saw a guy who did want to pass, but when the running lanes were there, he took what the defense was giving him. So again, all you can ask for is go out there and put wins in the W's in the win column. That's all that matters to me. Again, as the season rolls along, do I expect he will evolve as a passer? Yes. He'll start to get more of the credit he deserves as a quarterback. But for now, there will still be those critics saying, where's the 300-yard passing day from Jackson Arnold, the 5-star talent?
Yeah, and maybe this is just Auburn bias, and it seems like whenever Auburn has a good year, they're able to run the football, but I just don't care. Like, if you can run for $130 on the ground at the quarterback position, like, okay, great. I mean, we're all thinking about Nick Marshall and Cam Newton. It's like, yeah, like I'm just not really worried about how you get the yards, Gordy. Just get into the end zone.
That's all that matters. I mean, that's ultimately if he throws for 200 yards and every time they get in the red zone, they hand it off, and Austin or Cobb or whoever's running it in, who cares if he doesn't have the touchdowns? It's silliness, but you just want to be able to show that you can do that. I think they will these next 2 weeks show that ability to throw it, which will then, you'll go in that Oklahoma game and they're going to have to say, all right, we don't know what to do. But the worst thing you want to do is you go in Oklahoma and they're just loading the box and daring him to throw it. And if he can't, then, there will be a lot of criticism from that. So, but that's where I say these next 2 weeks, just if I'm Hugh, let it hang out. Let him throw for a ton of yards just to make Oklahoma have to respect that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you have enough talent on the outside where you have to respect it anyway, but put it on tape. Put it on tape. It's not going to hurt you when you go to Norman. 100% agree. Going into the season, Jackson was ranked, when you do like quarterback rankings in the conference, anywhere from like 10 to 15 is typically what you saw. I mean, we saw him as low as 14 or 15. I mean, that's not true, right? Like, do we feel better about that not being true at this point? Or is it just such a loaded quarterback class in the SEC right now where it's like, that might not even really be about Jackson. It might just be more about the conference right now.
It's loaded when you talk about at the top. It's led by Garrett Nussmeier and Lenore Sellers, I think, are the two guys at the top. Now, John Mateer just had an outstanding week at Oklahoma. Arch Manning obviously didn't perform well, but we think he's going to eventually. Taylon Green just threw 6 touchdowns in a game for Arkansas.
I think Taylon's great. I think he's extremely underrated. Same with Martell Reed at A&M.
I think Gunnar Stockton played well against Marshall, showed his wheels as well as his passing ability. So you start to go down the list, and then you get into a category of Diego Pavia, Marcel Reed, Blake Shapen. I mean, dare I say, Ty Simpson might be the bottom of the barrel right now in the SEC.
Oh, say it again, Chris Gordy. Say it again.
Austin Simmons, we'll see as he gets tested at Ole Miss. DJ Lagway, I think, is among the best. Calzada at Kentucky's probably near the bottom. But, that's where you get into the rankings. And you go, I think Jackson Arnold very highly of him, and I think he performed very well. But if I'm starting to rank SEC quarterbacks just the weekend, Zach, He's
I
probably
don't
middle of
know.
the pack. I mean, it's hard to put him top 2, top 3 right now.
Yeah, and that was a big storyline going into it, right? It's like I think Auburn has done a good enough job building a roster where if Jackson is just a solid SEC quarterback, like I think that's enough. I think that's enough
Yeah.
for Auburn to achieve a lot of what they want that's still in front of them.
Yeah, the bottom line is, my biggest questions were how do they get this ground game going? I mean, it'd be great to have a Tank Bigsby or somebody like that, and
Yeah,
I think Alston's fine. I don't think he's your power back that you're going to give 25, 30 touches to a game. I think it's going to be a Cobb and by committee. I'd love to see a little bit more of Darrell Robinson. Heard such great things about Mabson all throughout camp, so we'd love to see him get some touches, but. To me, if they can't run the football through the backfield, not just Jackson running it, if they can't run it consistently, it doesn't matter what you're going to do through the passing game. So, like to see them be a little bit more balanced. But yeah, it's again, Jackson Arnold will earn that respect the more wins that Auburn gets.
yeah. I mean, because that's all that matters. Everybody will look past stats if you just keep winning. And you mentioned the running game there, like Damari Austin being questionable this weekend with that shoulder. You're probably going to see more Darrell Robinson and Omar Mabson. I don't want Jeremiah Cobb getting hit 15, 20 times in the next 2 weeks against these teams. I just don't want to see it. So looking ahead, what does Auburn need to do to keep achieving everything that's in front of them? And just a quick look ahead at Auburn, Oklahoma. It's going to be electric.